All right, 6:30 on the nose. Call the meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance.
Right over.
By the door. There we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Can I get a motion to accept the consent agenda, please?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion, conversation?
I'd like to talk about the field trip, please.
Okay, so pull the field trip out. Anything else? All right, hearing nothing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, field trip, please. What's up, Rebecca?
I really like the idea of the field trip, but Orwell's the only one that still does a grade school field trip. And we were talking a few meetings ago, and a number of us felt that it was very not fair when students couldn't take a test all at the same time. And I'm feeling like we're a district as a whole. A lot of the schools had to give up their 8th grade field trip when we lost our 8th graders. And there's just not the equality between the schools. And I'm just feeling there's a lot of educational field trips that don't cost as much money that the other schools are all participating in within the state of Vermont. And I'm just feeling this is not a very equal or appropriate kind of thing anymore now that we are a unified district. I think if we had a field trip like this at each of our grade schools, that it'd be awesome. Yeah, let's everybody do this. But since of our 4 grade schools, 1 is getting to go, I don't feel that it's a very equal or fair ask.
Anybody else? Yeah, Kurt?
That's the problem I've always had with equity, is that, you know, if not everybody's benefiting, then nobody should benefit. And I've never liked that very much. I've always thought that, geez, if one school has come up with something good, then, you know, maybe the other schools should as well. But I don't want to punish that one school for coming up with something good.
Anybody else? Oh, can somebody let Aaron in?
Should be open.
It is. You just have to push a
Push
little
it.
harder than
Oh.
you would expect.
Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
A lot of it's done by fundraising
Just take
cost, but also the other schools can take a field trip if they want to. There's nothing stopping the other schools from doing the same thing we do. So just because they don't choose not to, doesn't mean we shouldn't be able to. I don't see that. It really makes that much difference. The rest of us are capable of pulling off their own field trip if they want.
Right. So before we say anything else, I'm just going to recap what I've heard so far, just so that I'm kind of
I have
saying.
something I'd like.
Okay. So I've heard the word fair and I've heard the word equity.
Yep.
And then I've heard the word fundraising. Okay. What I think we're talking about is equality, not equity, because equity is everybody gets what they need to succeed. Equality is everything's equal across the board. So really we're talking about equality, like equal across the board, not equity, everybody gets what they need. So I just want to clarify that because that's a really, I don't know, that term bothers me. I struggle with equity versus equality. So equity is everybody gets what they need to succeed. I'm taller than Rachel. So when I'm in the grocery store, I can hit the top shelf. Rachel has to ask somebody. So to give Rachel a stool to be able to reach the top shelf, that's equity. Rachel can now reach the top shelf. Equality is Patrick and I get the exact same thing no matter what, right? Our pants are the same size no matter how tall we are. One of us looks silly potentially, right? So that's different. And then fair, I think, is a really hard word to throw around because fair, really, is life fair? Are things fair? I think that's hard. So I don't know if that attaches to this. It is fundraising it has been fundraised for. These are not, I believe these are not school.
It does
Funds.
say school discretionary. There is a piece of it that it says that it's discretionary, school discretionary fund.
That's
Which is which part?
fundraising.
It stated it before the fundraising.
That is the fundraising account.
That's where the fundraising accounts go.
Okay.
All right, so that's a good clarification.
Transportation comes out of the general fund though, or it comes.
Okay, so transportation of this for the field trip would come out of the general fund.
Yes.
So if you look down to the breakdown, aquarium admission, duck boat tours, estimated meals, lunch, total project cost does not include transportation. Transportation will be provided via the school bus. Okay. So school pays for transportation, fundraising pays for the rest of it, is basically how it works. Is that correct? Okay. Sue,
Oh, that was my question. Like, where was the money coming from that was not making it fair for the other children, the other schools?
okay,
Like,
okay.
what are we putting out financially that we're not putting out for the other field trips in the other schools?
Okay. So Brooke, could you clarify, like,
Yep.
are we not
every-
allowed to take field trips?
No, you are.
Okay.
Every school decides what they're going to do with their allocation. Everyone gets an per pupil allocation for field trips, extracurriculars, and the principal works with their staff and parents and makes decisions based on their allocations.
So this is out of their allocation.
Yeah, it's not above and beyond what they already have in their budget.
Only the transportation
Right.
comes out of their allocation, the rest is fundraised.
I've always questioned why we even do this as a board. But given that we do, I would like to make a motion that we approve the field trip.
Okay, more discussion? Any more discussion about it? Are you clear now about, like, do you have any more questions about, like, whether they can or cannot do field trips?
No, I don't
Okay.
have any questions about it.
Okay.
I just feel like we're a district. We are unified together. We follow the same set of rules. Our schools follow the same set of curriculum guidelines. It just feels very separating, if you know what I mean.
Okay,
I mean, I know that Orwell still does their separate ski program. I'm not sure if it's still, some of it comes out of our budget, but I'm just feeling very separate.
okay. Even though they fundraise,
Even though they fundraise, I get that.
okay,
I understand they fundraise. So
Okay.
if you're going to do a fundraising trip where 90% of it is fundraise, do it on the weekends. Make it not a school trip. If all the community's coming together like that. But it just feels very.
but it would still have to come before us because they're school kids, right? Like,
No, I'm saying if you're going to fundraise 90% of it, fundraise the entire 100% of it and make it a community type thing. I'm just feeling very us versus them.
you can do that.
So,
I think it would be
Yeah.
interest.
so
Oh.
Benson,
Oh, just like Patty's like trying to talk online.
okay,
I'm sorry, it's very.
I don't know why we
challenging
can't hear
online,
Patty.
But I think that I always think to myself, well,
What-
Can you
what's
turn it
the,
up, Walter? or
if
not?
the
Yes.
benefit,
Oh, there it goes. Oh. Go ahead, Patty.
am I okay? So, I think from what Becca's talking about, to me, it's more, I don't have the paper right in front of me right now, but I know it's how is it tied to the curriculum? And if it's an important component of the, American history curriculum that we are providing to all of our students, maybe as a board, as administrators, we should really consider the importance of that trip and talk a little bit more about whether or not everybody should have the all 5th and 6th grade students should have the opportunity to be able to go on that trip. Because I do think that from a historical standpoint, it's a very beneficial trip for kids to go on. And obviously there's many other soft skills they get out of it and whatnot. But I'm just saying, I think it is a very beneficial trip. So I wonder if that would be a way that we would approach it in the future, is how do we get more schools to provide this opportunity to all of our 5th and 6th grade students?
Well, we have a list of the curriculums of what it follows.
It's science. It's going to the aquarium, so it's all science.
Yeah, it's the
related.
aquarium and it's the Freedom Trail and all that, and I'm just saying, I think it's a really great trip, and I think Orwell benefits wonderfully from it. Why not try to figure out a way to help support that in our other 3 schools?
Julie?
Yeah, go ahead, Kurt.
Well, first of all, I think Benson can have their allocation. Secondly, I think, Patrick, correct me if I'm wrong, you've been doing this for a while. It's become a tradition.
Been doing it for years.
Traditions are wonderful.
Did it before we merged for years and years and years. We would go to Boston, we've gone to Washington, and we continued the tradition after the merger.
I like traditions.
So I think if I can just, I totally agree with you, Kurt. I like traditions as well. I think a little bit of what Becca was saying is that the tradition in some schools, and obviously I can only talk to Benson really, is that the 8th graders went on a trip. So it would be, how do we now try to support our schools in saying, okay, you used to have an 8th grade trip that you went, 8th graders went to Washington and Benson, or, Benson 8th graders went to Washington. So how do we think about supporting schools so that we continue those traditions?
Can I ask?
So wait, go ahead.
So I think we've been down this road many years, every year, possibly, that this comes up. I think all schools don't have the same interest possibly in going on the trip. That's something we would need to investigate. I know when we did the Castleton Village School and Benson Village School field trip to DC, we had trouble finding staff who were willing to go and spend the night. So I think that's a huge concern.
And we started fundraising
and we started
2 years before the trip to be able to go on the trip, which was, I think, another thing that parents weren't willing now to step up and do, is do all that fundraising.
I also think every school has different traditions, so to speak. Fairhaven Grade School does a great job with Apple Fest. The rest of the schools don't do things like that, and they fundraise for things that are in their schools. So I think the idea when we merged wasn't to create cookie cutter either. So I want schools to be able to have some autonomy as well, and making some decisions on their own and not having everything be the same.
I get
I don't
that,
think
and
that's
I don't
our goal.
want everything the same in every single building. And yes, every school has something special that they do, like Benson does trunk or treat. We don't do it anymore, but we did do it.
But that was also volunteer. That wasn't through the.
Volunteer.
Yeah.
Apple Fest, we all do various different things. I'm just, like I said, feeling very segregated. I feel just that we're us and them, I guess.
Yeah, Glenn had his hand up too. Glenn, it's the whole.
Well, I think that, that's the whole part of having that per pupil allocation of funds, is that within the building, the building administrators, the students, whatever, can choose what they want to do with their funds for their school. And it's possible that everybody could go on a trip. It's just probably some of the buildings would have to give up something else. And that's kind of what Orwell has done. They've decided to go on the trip and given up other things that could have been, those funds could have been used for. And that's part of the whole thing. If we want to make it cookie cutter, we can do that. We do away with the funds allocation and everything is equal. But I think that it just comes down to choices that each building administrator has made with how they want to spend those funds.
Janice?
I was just gonna ask how the schools feel, how the other schools feel about it, and I don't wanna put anybody on the spot, so like, they don't necessarily have to answer, but if it's a trip that all of the schools feel like in the future, to Patty's point, is something that they want us to look at, then maybe we look at for a future thing, but if the other administrators have no problem with it, then I don't see why we should.
That would be a conversation Brooke would have with them at
Right.
their administrative
Yeah.
committee, yes. Yep. Also too, where are they eating breakfast?
There's no
If you're leaving at
breakfast on
4
there.
a.m., I sure would be hungry.
Lunch and dinner's on there, but there's no breakfast.
Hey, Julie, can I make one more point about this whole thing?
Just one second.
I think they eat breakfast on the way down on the bus.
Okay, so they must
They
either,
bring-
yeah, the community must bring stuff and snacks and stuff for them to eat. Okay.
So, to say it as gently as possible also, and I agree with Becca that it's kind of, yeah, it is kind of feeling like you feel kind of like an outsider. As a parent of a school, of a kid in the district, I'm gonna not say this is just a school building fault. This is also a community at large fault. I'll speak from experience of the CSO at Castle Elementary. There is one parent on that CSO. And that's all there is. That's all the involvement the community is doing.
Mhm.
Yes, the schools do have some to blame in this. We've come into a district where that doesn't have a lot of funding from us having to reduce our school budget again and again and again and again and again in order to get passed. And when you reduce our school budget, we don't have these funds allocated to help our students have outside the classroom learning. But beyond that, parents in this community don't seem to want to do their part to help the kids as well. And I think that's important to realize is that teachers can't do it alone. Administrators can't do it alone. Parents can't do it alone. We kind of all need to work. It's CSO, community school organization. And that community aspect is, at least at Castleton, missing.
I would say the same is true at Fairhaven. They have two parents.
Right.
Benson doesn't have.
That's twice as many. Yay!
And they're both educators.
Woo! Right? Yeah, the one at Castleton is an educator. So.
But Julie, at the same time, I heard the word blame. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, I think we should be celebrating Orwell's tradition
100%.
and desire and
Community support.
community support. I think celebrates the word I would use for Orwell. But yeah, we should do something else for the other communities and try to.
Yeah.
Does it fall upon us as admin tangential as school board to really say this is why the school budget's so important, to learn outside the parameters of the four walls and a roof? So.
Julie.
Yep, go ahead.
Well, this is the third time this has come up at a board meeting of Orwell. No other field trips are scrutinized like this one. I mean, the band goes on field trips all the time from the high school. But we've been scrutinized, this will be the third year in a row for this, when it's the same type of thing any other school can do if they want to do it.
Mhm.
So I can't see how we're gonna sit here and say, another school can't do this because we can't do this, or you can't do this because we're doing
Oh,
this.
my
It's just,
phone.
that's not the way it should be.
I don't want to be seen like I'm ostracizing. I want to say you're doing awesome. Great job. And I want to do it too for my kid.
All right, anybody else?
I think Sue's got her.
Yep, go ahead, Sue.
I just want to say, and I'm kind of trying to look at this as a community person and not a school board member. But, I grew up here and I'm old. I'm one of the older ones. I didn't grow up in Orwell, but I grew up in the community. And Orwell has a very old, strong community base. Families, generation. And they've always been very supportive outside of school of their students and their families. And some of our other towns do not have that support and haven't had for many, many years. They've not even had that role model. And I'm gonna be very honest with you, I moved away for 10 years in the 80s to go to college in Tennessee, and I moved back. I'd always grown up in Poultney. My husband had always grown up in Fairhaven. We both graduated from local. And I chose to move to Orwell for my children when I first moved back here because of the community involvement. And that hasn't changed, and I've been back for 35 years. And when I moved back here, I said, okay, where do I want to find a house and raise my kids? And it was Orwell. Because of community support. And I don't see it as it's changed in 35 years. They're very strong, very supportive of their kids outside of the building. So I don't think we should punish them for that. I mean, I take my hat off, and I'm thankful that they were here when I moved back here 35 years ago.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to call the question. All those in favor, please say aye of accepting the field trip request.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
One nay, the rest aye.
That's the first time I've ever.
All right, thank you. All right, public comment. Yeah.
I have to say, as an Orwell resident and teacher, educator, and parent, generational, I'm really humbled, and I really appreciate the positive comments. We work really hard as a community. As a parent, I would never be able to afford to bring my children on a trip to Boston. Any experience they have is all done through school, and it is really enhanced my own children's well-being. So thank you for seeing how hard we work as a town and as residents and as parents and as teachers. So just know that we appreciate you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? No. Okay. Thank you to board members who are leaving. John, down there. Hey,
Yeah,
John, thank you. How many years, John?
This was my second term,
This was your second
So-
term.
6, yeah.
Okay,
So, and I was on the board, I think, 4 or 5 years.
for the
In-
Orwell board.
No, in Benson,
Oh, and Benson for the Benson board.
yes.
Okay.
And I resigned
wow.
from there when I moved.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're gonna miss you.
Thank you.
Yeah. appreciate it. And Christina's not here. She's not on either, right? No. So Christina's not here, but Christina and Hubbardton, Christina Ryan's also not running.
We're starting a write-in campaign for Scott.
30 votes, people, 30 votes.
There's 700 and some odd other registered voters in.
So in looking ahead then at board reorganization, so I got my petition in, Rachel got hers in, Jamie got hers in, or Kurt got yours in, Kurt got his in. Who else was up? Is that it? Just the
Well,
4 of us?
No, well, John and Christina, no one's running for their seats.
Right.
And then we have 3 open West Haven.
Right, but we do have a person who'd like to be written in for West Haven too. So he's reached out to us. Scott Hertzberg. Hertz like the car rental, Berg. Hertzberg. So I know how to spell it.
Aaron, do you remember how many votes you needed?
30, I think,
30,
right?
30, maybe.
I think it's 30.
Here, 70, somewhere.
I think it's
Oh, 30 makes more sense.
Yeah, I think
30.
it's 30 votes. 30 write-ins.
Was it different by community or no?
No,
because we're
because we're
all
at large.
At large. Yep.
So we've got to distribute the spelling of his name. You know, we gotta get it out there.
Yep. Yep. So he's a West Haven resident, which would be fantastic.
Well, the
to have.
school district can't do it,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, we can't put it like out on a school district stuff, but as other people, we can
Should
put on
be
Facebook.
encouraged to do so.
Yeah,
Front Porch Forum.
from Porch Forum.
You all can do it
Yep.
as individuals.
So, and then, our next official meeting after this will be reorganization, which means that's where we come back, we do chair, vice chair, clerk,
Committees.
and then all our committees, right? Brooke will bring like a sheet that has everybody who's already in the committees on it, right?
Yes.
Are there maximum number of board members that can be on a committee?
Well, we don't really typically have the whole board on a
Right,
committee.
right,
So
right,
we
right.
try to do
Like
5 to
five?
6.
5 to 6?
I mean, the
on each?
finance ends up being a little bit bigger, but,
Okay,
and then we usually ask for a negotiations committee
right,
to stay the same if we're in negotiations.
which
So
we
right
are
now,
for staff.
we are for support staff.
Okay,
But Christina Ryan's on that committee and she's not running, so,
okay,
I mean, possibly, you know,
Yeah.
could add somebody, but,
Okay. So our 3 standing committees are finance, policy, and buildings and grounds.
yes.
And then we have negotiations for teachers, and then
Teachers.
we negotiation for staff,
Support staff,
support staff, and then we have executive committee.
correct,
So that's another standing.
which
committee.
is one from
Each
each
town.
town, and usually whomever the board chair is represents that town.
So, anybody have any questions about that? Everybody knows what committee they're on already? All right. Awesome.
I can
So-
I can have Lisa send that out. as
Yeah,
a
just kind
reminder.
of, so we all know going in, kind of how many people are on each one, and if we want to move around or where we could fit, we could do that then. All right, finance committee meeting, go, Glenn.
Yeah, so the finance committee met earlier this evening. Really just kind of went over the presentation for the annual meeting, which is next Thursday night, the 19th, in the band room at the high school at 6:30.
Yep.
So things are kind of where they've been for the most part. We are going to use a slightly different number for the yield from deviation from the December 1st letter. There's 4 possible scenarios. We try to be conservative and hope for the best. So we'll see what happens. There's still a lot of things turning in Montpelier that could affect things. As far as like with the yield, one bright note, it probably won't go anywhere, but a bill has been introduced into the legislature to require the yield be set prior to town meeting in the future. It's not been written to us for this year. But it will take some of the guesswork out. I just don't see it probably going anywhere. So that's really it.
So for town of Castleton people, our town meeting's on the same night. Fun. So I'm gonna go to town meeting at 6. My husband's the moderator, so he promised I could talk first. And then I'm gonna go 6 to like 6:15, 6:20-ish, and then I'm gonna drive over to the high school. So I'll be a couple minutes late. And as soon as you're done, I'm gonna drive back and answer questions because they take a lot longer because Castleton goes through their town report line by line. Usually takes a long time. So I should be able to swing back in there to answer questions at the end. And then we also talked about federal funding.
So as it is right now, when they signed off on everything to get the government back up and running, they are forward funding all of the title monies, at least at this moment. It looks like we're going to be okay there. There may be some changes with Medicaid reimbursements, things like that could happen. But who knows? I mean, money that Congress has signed off on has been withheld in the past. So hopefully that doesn't happen and we get through this cycle. And then we'll go from there. One of the Cheryl's scenarios that she did point out that we're not going to use, but if the yield went up to one possible point, every town in the district would see a tax rate decrease from last year.
If the governor's
If the governor's
proposal
proposal
goes through.
And how they do it. So we'll see where that shakes out. But that's one of those things that You know, if we go conservative and it comes through that way, it's a big surprise for everybody. And, you know, if you put that out at first and it's something that's less, then people get a unexpected tax increase. They're very unhappy. So
We're gonna go with worst case scenario first,
yeah.
which isn't terrible.
It's not terrible. We'd really be sitting pretty well if there hadn't been a tax rate buy down last year, because about half of the increase is due to last year's one-time monies. So we'd be really sitting well. So, yep, next Thursday night, bring your friends. We'll have a good old time. Let's fill the band room.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Glenn. All right, public comment again. Okay. All right, so I need a motion to go in executive session for an evaluation of an employee superintendent, please.
So moved. Second.
Hear that? I feel so bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
you just give me
it was Rachel and then Peter, was it seconded?
Rachel and Peter, and then, make sure you send the note. Becky.
Okay, okay.
All right.
Yep, I gotta
So-
get into the, oh no, my computer, I'm gonna.
Well,
have
you-
to- All right, so can I get a motion, please, based on executive session?
Take a motion to accept the
Superintendent's evaluation.
superintendent's evaluation.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Let me write that down. Let her have it. Oh, what time is it? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great, the ayes have it. Thank you very much. And agenda building. Oh, she's not here for agenda building. Well, oh, it's reorganization, so there is no agenda building.
Yeah.
We just show up and see what we look like as we reorganize.
Right.
So, all right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We'll see you next.
Second.
All right, motion to adjourn. Everybody, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Great, thank you. We'll see you all later.